Hi guys, I'm so excited to kick off my personalized Crest watercolor painting tutorial. I have just been so excited about this. I've been mulling this around for a while and trying to come up with something that's personalized and something that's pretty enough to put out in your home, and I think that everybody is going to really love these. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and can't wait to get started. A couple of tips if you haven't taken my classes before. I have watercolor palettes available. These are through my site, but you can also grab them on Amazon. Usually I use 3 different brushes. I like to use a tiny little dabber brush, a big size 10 or 12 brush for doing large color washes, and a medium size brush. This is sort of a size 6 or size 8 usually. Also, whenever you're taking paint from your palette, remember to sort of hold your paintbrush at a 45-degree angle to get the paint out of there. You might have remembered seeing kindergartners go in there and they go and dig the paint around. That's really bad for the brushes. It breaks up this fine tip here and it makes it hard to paint any details with it. So just keep that in mind. Be very kind to your brushes as we're painting. We always want to start from the top to the bottom, and if you're right-handed, you want to work left to right so that you don't drag your hand through paint. That said, I'm going to start with our top area. This is where we're going to put in our pattern first. And I think we'll actually save the bow for last because I don't want to put my hand in that while I'm painting. I'm going to do a leopard print, and if you've seen my page, you may have noticed that I have a whole section dedicated to painting different patterns and borders. Definitely want to check that out first, but up top, I'm going to go with sort of a leopard print. And I think that just about any pattern that you do up here is going to be adorable. So double check, see, I love seeing gingham, I love polka dots. This is a fun place to sort of maximize your personality. Oh, you'll have to excuse me too. I have a little bit of I'm under the weather, and I should have not recorded today, but I'm just so excited that I had to get going. So bear with my nasally voice. For the leopard print though, I'm going to do a large color wash with my big chubby brush, and we're going to let this dry. My vision for this, I'm going to do leopard print up top, and then I'm actually going to do bamboo for my border. You could do lines and dots, you could do solid lines. The world is yours. You don't have to follow me exactly. In fact, it's truly better if you don't, but if you do, it's okay. No judgment, safe space. So I'll leave that like that for now. I also like to keep a little piece of scratch paper up top just so that I test out my colors and everything and make sure that everything looks good. I'm using this brown color, I think, next for my bamboo in the inner sides. Yeah, we'll go with this brown color. This will be the dots that I use for my leopard print, and also for the stems on my topiaries. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to pick something that is not touching it so that I can let it dry. And why don't we go with our topiaries? So first off, you can have these be lemons, you could have these be limes, you could have them be oranges, any sort of citrus fruit, pomegranates even, I suppose. Or you could also just paint everything green if you just want a plain green topiary. Nobody's going to look at that and say, oh look, there's a round looking leaf there. No one's looking that deep. It's not that deep. But just want you to know that you have plenty of options. The orange that I'm using for my oranges is this orange. It's a lighter orange if you're using the same palette. It's right underneath the white. Some of them are a little bit different. Double check on your scratch paper to make sure that it's the right color and that you like it. So here we go. Also, you might find too that, hey, I think this maybe needs another little orange in here. That's okay. They don't have to look exactly like the example. Now I'm gonna just kind of go over and I'm gonna, there we go. Anything that I think looks like it might be an orange. You might also get to painting your leaves and think, oh wait, this looks like this is an orange, and you can always go back. And I'm making mine not perfectly round because I feel like that to me seems a little bit more natural, but by all means, do what you feel is best. Okay, I think I got them all. Going to let these dry, and while these are drying, I'm going to do the stems on my topiaries, and I use this sort of round, this warm brown that we've got. This is also going to be the same color that I use for my other browns in this design. And I'm using my medium-sized brush for this part as well. Okay, so now that this leopard print is mostly dry, I think my orange and my topiaries are dry, but I'm still going to be careful. Leopard print is a fun pattern because it's very random. And I'm just going to paint a whole bunch of random brown dots. And then I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to do the black next, the little black dots. Also keep in mind too that you want to sort of fill in any negative spaces with your brown dots, and you also want to make sure that you go off the edges so that it looks like it's a continued pattern. Gonna get a couple sort of up in the bow. Excuse me. And you can have yours more spaced out or closer together, whatever your heart desires. There's no wrong answer. So I've got these down now. Let's go ahead and actually do our bamboo around the outside. And the border of these, there's also a tutorial on different lines and borders that you can try. I'm gonna do sort of a bamboo looking border. As long as I've got my brown out, I'm using my medium-sized brush. You can do 2 lines, you could do lines and dots. I'm gonna do sort of a thicker, lighter brown line for now. Be careful when you go to add more details to your bamboo that you can keep straight which is the topiary stem and which is the bracket to your crest. Okay. Now that I have sort of my color washed down, bamboo has got sort of these little hash marks to it. And I want them to stay a little bit lighter, but just every couple inches, these little lines come through, sort of two lines in a row. And I want these to be about the same intensity that I used for my color wash, for my main line, so that they're the same color, and then I can go through, don't add it to the topiary stem. And I'm gonna add shading to that when I've got my little brush going. Okay. Going to let those dry. Looks like my leopard brown spots are still drying. So for now, and actually as long as I have my brown brush going, I'm gonna go a little darker on my topiary trunks so that I can tell, everyone can tell that they're topiary trunks and not. And if you did accidentally do little bamboo lines on it, you can just make your trunks a little bit thicker. No one will know. Oh wait, hello. I also want my same brown for my letters that I used for my bamboo. You could do a little pop of red, green would be cute, but I want it to kind of be, I like the way that there's sort of these little, it already looks a little bit like bamboo to me. So I'm gonna lean into that. There we go. Okay. Next up, it looks like my oranges are dry. My bamboo is mostly drying, so I'm going to be careful that I don't put my hand through there. I'm going to do my little topiary leaves now. And I'm going to use sort of an olive green. Double check on your scratch paper. This is sort of what this olive green looks like. Make sure that you like it together. I really like this green with the brown, but it would be really cute with a lighter green, the grass green. This like light green right here is also really fun. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fill in and do little leaves. Notice how I'm using sort of the point of my brush to make leaves. And you'll notice as you get in here, it's like, oh my gosh, there's space, but there aren't any leaves drawn. That's okay. You're just gonna keep doing the shapes with your paintbrush and just sort of blot in, excuse me, blot in to fill in the negative space with your paintbrush. If you see any leaves that look a little bit too dark, go over them again with your paintbrush. And it's okay if it overlaps with your oranges. We kind of want that to happen so that it looks like the oranges are really in the bush. And you'll notice too how some of my leaves are darker green, some of my leaves are lighter. That's just kind of a nice way to make it look like it's shaded. I'm also going to get the leaves on the bottom. And this top part of the planter is filled in with sort of a peat moss, so we'll make that green as well. And I'm just kind of doing little squiggly, blotty lines here. Gonna go ahead and do my other topiary too. All right, got it. Oops, wait, hello, forgot the bottom part. Okay, while these are drying, I'm actually going to start with my bow. You can do whichever color you think is best. I'm gonna go with a pop of red, just because I feel like it. Feeling sassy today. But I'm gonna start up top here, and as I paint, again, just being very careful not to put my hand in my orange topiary. And I'm using the tip of my brush to really get into the points over there. I'm using sort of a pretty concentrated amount of paint, I suppose. You could also go a little bit lighter if you wanted. There we go. I'm also using my medium-sized brush to get those fine details in there. You might find as you go that you, oops, I skipped over one of the lines, happy accident. You might find as you're going that you feel more comfortable using a smaller brush to get into the thinner details, and that's fine too. It does get pretty narrow in the ribbon. But imperfections are chic. And when I get to my olive leaves, just be real, or my topiary leaves, just be really careful that you don't touch the red with the green paint if they're still wet. I'm just gonna kind of poke it in here a little bit, make sure it looks like it's going behind the plant. You might also find too, as you paint, that some of your Some of your areas are going to be a little bit lighter, just the way that the paint has moved around on the paper, that whenever you've gotten water or something like that. And I actually kind of like the way that that looks naturally. I think it makes it look like there's some shading. You can go back and add some shading as well to the ribbon if you feel like sort of the areas where the ribbon is tucked over, it might be a little bit darker, a little bit lighter where it bows out. Bows out, pun intended. All right. Now that the red is done, I'm really loving it with the leopard print and the green and the orange together. It's just such a fun little color family that we've got here. I am going to be very careful to let this dry, but I am going to start adding in my black splotches on my leopard print to kind of bring that all together. And if you've have not seen my pattern video, leopard print is kind of fun because it's a very random pattern. There are some dots that have 3 little black splotches around it. Some are sort of a U shape. Some just have 1. Just don't put a whole lot of thought into it, and it will turn out beautifully. Easier said than done, huh? Looks like I actually got a little bit of brown on my paper because I was rushing through. If you make a mistake like that, sometimes what you can do, and this doesn't work for everything, if it's just a little smudge like that, and it's brown or a lighter color, you can take a wet paper towel and pick it up. There we go. If it's red, or sometimes green really seeps into the paper quickly too. Sometimes if you don't get to it quickly enough, it doesn't come out, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about the way that this is looking, guys. Now that I have got pretty much everything done except for my vases, and most stuff around it is gonna dry, I'm now gonna take my little itty bitty brush and I'm gonna do some shading around the bamboo. And I'm just gonna draw a small line sort of on one side of the bamboo dashes to make it look like there's a shadow. Okay, I think I got them all in. What do you think, guys? Do we need to do, I almost think I might go and do the one line here to separate the leopard print area from the crest. I also want to do this with my lettering too. Let's do the shading on the lettering before we do anything else. There we go. Oh, it's so cute. Before I do it, this black is still wet, so we'll hold off on that for now. Okay, the vases, I am a more is more kind of girl, and this is a choice that I don't know that everybody else is going to want to make. So please, by all means, do what you think is best. I think that solid color would look really good too. You could do like a gray vase. I am going to do, well, you know what? I was thinking that a blue gingham would be really cute here, but I think I'm going to save that for my hydrangea vases, so hold that thought. I'm going to do dark gray vases on either side because that'll sort of pull in some of the dark from the leopard print, and then we're not adding so much color, but more is more in my book. So please, by all means, feel free to do, you could continue the leopard print down here. You could do stripes, polka dots, anything like that would be cute. So I don't think that there's any wrong answers when it comes to these classes. I'm going to use my darker gray, this one in the middle here, and just sort of do a color wash. I feel like this gray looks really good with sort of the olive green too. And I'll keep on playing with these because I think that they're so fun. So check my website, check my classes that I am teaching, and see what other people end up doing, because the world is really your oyster when it comes to design. And now that this is done here, I'm going to just paint another layer with a little bit more concentrated dark gray here to sort of make it look three-dimensional. also going to now get my brush wet and just kind of blend it in a little bit. Okay guys, I think we're about done. I will let you go here, but I'm gonna go back and do a line of bamboo across the bottom of this part. And I hope that you have so much fun with this. I can't wait to see what these look like. Please send me pictures. They make my heart so happy. They're so cute and fun, and just a little fun piece that you can put out and have a nice little conversation about it in your living room. Thank you so much. Drop me a line anytime you have any questions, and definitely check out more of the kits that I have. If you're local to Chicago, I would love to paint with you in person. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.